Thank you everyone for joining us for our next Ask HR question. I'm your host, Chris Timmel, and I'm here with the incredibly talented HR mind of Brianna Grimes. Brianna, how are you?
I'm great. Hello, everyone. Glad to be back.
Well, this one's kind of a doozy, and it's really broad. This question comes to us from John in Juneau. John says, there are so many HR laws, rules, and regulations. Which ones do we even need to follow?
Good question. And I empathize. There are a lot of HR laws, and they are only creating more every year. Really, when it comes to HR laws, there's a couple of different ways to approach it. And I like to take the funnel approach, start big and then move small. So, obviously, the first level of HR law is the federal laws. Federal laws apply to every business within the United States. Obviously, there are differences within those laws. Some laws, like FMLA, only impact you if you have 50 or more employees. Other laws impact you as long as you have one employee. So, looking at the federal laws, we have our core set, which is our EEO laws dealing with discrimination. So, things like Title VII, ADA, ADEA, and Equal Pay Act. We have FMLA, which deals specifically with leave. You have your wage and hour laws, which is governed under FLSA, which is primarily overseen by the Department of Labor. So that's how you pay your employees and paying them fairly. And then you have safety laws, which is governed by OSHA. So you have kind of these really high level federal laws that are going to apply to you. And that's a great place to start. Those four core ones, they each have their own websites. There's lots of really great resources. But for the most part, I would say all of them, with the exception of FMLA, cover the majority of employers, regardless of the size of your how many employees you have. So I would start with the big four and take a look at those laws first. Once you kind of have a feel for those laws, the next level is your state laws. So depending on what state you're in, you may have a lot of state laws that you also have to follow. Versus some states don't have as many. They default to the federal, and they're aligned with the federal laws, so there's a little bit less there. So states like California, New York, sorry guys, you're going to have a little bit more policies, a little bit more laws that you need to follow at the state level. Other states, not so much. So next, you'll look at the state laws, and you can visit your state's Department of Labor website, and they will outline a lot of those laws. In the more complicated states that have a lot of those state laws, I do recommend utilizing an HR consulting firm or an attorney to help you parse through those laws. They are changing them. I would say almost yearly. They make updates, they add new amendments to the laws. So it is something that can be a full-time job in some states, just keeping up with compliance. So federal laws where you want to start, state laws where you want to kind of get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty of what applies to your business specifically. And then you have industry laws. So there are specific industries that have regulations and laws that are governed under people like OSHA and the EEOC. So those federal level divisions provide industry level specific laws. And so there's different laws for construction versus nursing versus any type of like warehouse work and things like that. So you have a lot of different laws that may apply to your industry specifically, and it's very important for you to be aware of those and to follow those. There is definitely a lot. If you're finding it overwhelming, I highly recommend getting some assistance. Like I said, you can have an attorney on retainer that can assist you as long as they're licensed to do law in the state that you are operating out of, or there are lots of great HR consulting firms like Hustle HR that can help you. We have experience in all 50 states, and we help a lot of employers really kind of figure out what laws they need to follow and keep them compliant.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Brianna. Hope that answers your question. And we look forward to seeing you again really soon on our next episode of Ask HR.